Good morning. Hi, Steph. How are you feeling? Good, I hope. Good, I hope. Okay, so can you guys tell me if you can see any products on this live? I hope not. TikTok tried to auto add 10 different products to like the live as like things to promote, and I was like, I don't even know what any of these things are. It was like body butters and like self tanner and stuff like that. And I was like, and I clicked, it had a button that said do not auto add products for 7 days, and so I clicked the do not auto add products for 7 days because I don't want to auto add anything because I think that's dumb. We're suffering from the worst allergies after. Oh no, I'm sorry, Stephanie. That sounds awful. But like then it auto added like a couple of other things and I had to manually take them off. But then for me on the bottom it's showing a little 1 next to the business center. So I was like, well, that's not good. I don't want any products on it. So anyway, I'm glad that you guys don't see any on your end because I did get a violation yesterday that they did not accept my appeal on. Oh man, this is so full of pods. Wait, no, it's not. They're just stuck. I was gonna say, I thought I cleaned it out yesterday. How could we have drank that many? But it's not true. We didn't drink that many. It's just clogged. There we go. That's better, huh, sweetheart? Okay, mommy fixed it. Phew. Okay, mommy fixed it. Everything is fine. Nothing is broken. We are all good up in here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's time to make coffee for mommy and daddy to be able to survive. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. We are making coffee because I won't survive without it. Oh, yes, Tiffany, how was your yesterday? Oh my gosh, I forgot. You know what, you guys, I forgot to upload yesterday's. Oh my gosh, I need to do that today. Yesterday was a crazy day and there was just like a lot going on and I forgot to download that. I need to do that. Can somebody who has the ability to message or text me, did I just get filtered? You might have. To message or text me, remind me to download yesterday's book club. I'm so sorry, you guys. I hate having to rely on people for brain cells, but like I can't type it while I have you. You guys are the phone, so I can't like write myself a note, you know? But if anyone on here has the ability to text or message me, I was complimenting you because, oh, her head control is amazing, right? Look at that go. Show them your head control. Look at you. I was going to miss tomorrow, but I finally cut up today. Oh, good. Well, we'll have it uploaded if I remember. I just need to do 2. Hey, Frankie, we're shaking bacon. Are we dancing? Are we dancing? We're dancing. We're dancing. Dance, dance. Dance, dance. Dancity, dance, 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 dance. Dance, 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 dance. Dancity, dance, dance. Dance, dance. Dance, dance, dance. We're gonna dance. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. I'm behind because I was like, ooh, what did you do in New York City? Thank you, Ray. What did you do in New York? I was just telling Becca about how we're probably going to take this little lady to New York in maybe like 2 years. So Secret Husband has a special kind of job where every so many years, when they finish a specific project, they get like a month off. Visitor friends on my husband's favorite van from Poland. That's cool. So they get like a month off. And how did her shot at making an Italian meal go? It went great. She made such a good spaghetti yesterday. We call it pasta la pio, which is a joke between me and my husband. Anytime we make pasta, we say we're making pasta la pio, and we say that if ever there's going to be something we're going to gaslight her about, when she's older, we're going to gaslight her that every pasta is called pasta la pio, and then she's going to go to school and she's going to be like, we had pasta la pio for dinner, and some other Italian kid's going to be like, that's not a thing, that's fake. And she's going to be like, no, my mom's Italian, it's real. My dad made it. In our house, it's called pasta lipio. It's not a real thing, you guys. Pasta lipio. Right? Did you make pasta lipio with Daddy last night? Hey, Isabella. Yeah, you did? Oh, how did it go? What did you learn about pasta lipio? Did you learn how tasty it was? No, you didn't get to taste it? He didn't let you taste it? That was so rude. Is it because you're a baby and you're not allowed to taste pasta lipio yet? Yes, that's right. Okay, wow. She just did what my mom and her sisters would call the Bronx cheer. Sliced ham and cheese, because that's the only way to... See, there you go. Yeah, pasta exactly, there you go, pasta lipio. But we spell it P-I-O, like lipio, like it's Italian, pasta lipio. It's made up, but we love it anyway. Pasta lipio. It's not a real Italian dish, but it is a real Quinn dish. It's a dish in our house. Right, little girl? Right, little lady? Is it a dish in our house? Do we eat pasta lipio here? Yeah. I know you're frustrated that you didn't get to taste any, but I have to tell you, honey, you're not ready for food yet. Right now, just Milky's. Oh, no, pasta lipio. Please do, Heather. Please do. So, let me tell you how pasta lipio goes. The way that you make pasta lipio is it's any pasta you like with any sauce that you like with cheese or no cheese, depending on if you like, and that's pasta lipio. So, you know, it's a really easy recipe. You do have to salt the water, though. That's one thing you can't get away from with pasta lipio. You have to salt the water, because it's not pasta lipio if the water's not salted. Specifically because the whole joke came about because, sure, yeah, that sounds great, Isabella. She is very cute, I know, and she's making a lot of noise this morning while we make coffee. But the whole joke came about because my, like, great, I think it's 3 times great-grandmother, or maybe 2 times great-grandmother, was the first woman in her town to have, right, Amanda? My great-great-grandmother was the first woman in her tiny town to have a salt license for her restaurant. You know what, we don't give out her name publicly, but you can call her Jasmine, or Gracelyn, or, you know, Little Miss, whatever you want to call her. So my great-grandmother had a salt license, and when her children came to America from Italy, she did not go with them because she had a restaurant in her town, and she said, you don't have to be sorry, it's okay, it's not a big deal. She said to her children she was not going to leave her own mother, and she was not going to leave her salt license because it was too big of a deal to have a salt license. Isn't that crazy? You had to have a license to have salt. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Isn't that cool? And I know some family members who have gone to that town, and apparently, I mean, we don't own our family doesn't own the restaurant anymore, but apparently the salt license is still on the wall of the restaurant with her name on it. It's pretty cool. So you have to salt the water. It's the rule. If you're making pasta lipio, you're salting the water. Am I right, sweetheart? I know. It's, you know, I'm not exactly sure. I have to ask my mom the exact town. I agree, Jen, I agree. But it is in Abruzzo, specifically. It might be in Bari in Abruzzo, but it is in Abruzzo, because that's where that part of the family was from. Yes, we are Italian. Yes. Well, I am. My husband's not, but I am. Yes. And my little girl is, obviously, partially. When my mom did her DNA test, she really wanted there to be something interesting that would come up. No, secret husband's not, well, he's like 0.08 Italian, you know, whatever. Oh, your family's Italian too? It makes a difference, Jen, it definitely does. So when my mom did her ancestry DNA test, she was like, maybe there's gonna be something really cool, like we're gonna have a little bit of this or a little bit of that. You guys wanna know what my mom's DNA test came back as? She is 98% Italian and possibly 2% Greek, which I think is probably just a differential for Southern Italian. Yeah, so she's just Italian. She thought there was gonna be something funny in there, but no, just Italian. Different history, Airbnb on the map. That's so cool. I love that, Christy. I love all sorts of history stuff like that. Did any of you guys ever watch that TV show, Who Do You Think You Are? I loved that show. I would totally watch that show again. Hey, Jillian, if they still played that show, I would totally watch it. She did not get any fun DNA. She just got only Italian. Are you falling asleep? It'd be great if you would. It'd be great if you would. Fall asleep. You can sleep. You can sleep. Yeah, it's just like Finding Your Roots. Yeah, both of them are great shows. Yeah, I know. You're a little grumbly. One of my favorite, I'm scared of DNA, but I'm on 50%. I mean, but you might find something else equally cool, you know? I'm 0% Japanese, so I can't speak to it, but I found out that I am, when I did my DNA test, I came back with 3% Chinese, which is hysterical, because I don't know where that came from. It's cool. I mean, like, Chinese culture is super cool and all, but, like, I think it might have been a mistake. I don't look at myself and see Chinese, but it's totally possible. But my favorite one of the Who Do You Think You Are that I saw, I don't know if you guys ever saw these, but they did Josh Groban, probably from the Persian background. That's true. It's probably like a crossover because they're pretty close in the grand scheme of things. And they definitely did travel between those places. But Josh Groban did Who Do You Think You Are? And he found out that one of his ancestors was like a German cantor, which totally makes sense because he's a singer and he's so good at it. It obviously runs in the family. I was like, man, that is cool that like his family have been singers for that many generations. Very cool. I thought that was super neat. That kind of stuff I really love. You're a fourth German? My baby is almost 1/4 German. You're Casper? That's hilarious. You're like, yes. Yes, our daughter is, maybe she's not 1/4 German, but she does have like, she's at least an 1/8 German, maybe 1/4. I think Secret Husband is, I think he's half German. I think he's half German. You're 100% Polish. I think he's either half German or almost half German, and then the rest is like Scottish and Irish. So that's what they are on that side. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this. Okay, can mommy have one more sip of coffee before we read? I actually have a friend who is 100% Polish. Yeah. Your mom is Scottish too. So I've told some of you guys this before. Are you done with me today? Do you want to go in your bouncer? You're acting like you don't want to be right here. I am too, Susan, on my dad's side. Yeah, I'm first generation as well. My dad came here in the 70s. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yeah. Yeah. Are you happy you're out now? You want it out. Do you want to go in your bouncer? You can. You can. That's okay. Did you guys see that she's wearing her Lucky Charms? Do you love your Lucky Charms because they're magically delicious, even though you've never had one? You're doing that I'm really overtired thing where you rub your face against my shirt. One good thing about growing up Mormon is that they have all of the that's one thing about the Mormons is that they have records for everything. Oh, this is fun. It's not me. She did this, not me. So, you know. Okay, well, she's in her bouncer now, happy as a clam. She looks like she's gonna fall asleep. Are you gonna fall asleep? Are you? Okay. You're gonna be grumbly about it though? Grumbly? We had March Madness cereal contest Lucky Charms one. That makes sense. There's something about Lucky Charms, right? That just like, it has the nostalgia and the taste and the look. Yeah. I could eat those freeze-dried marshmallows straight for a long time. Okay. We have a smiling, almost asleep girl. Yes, I can show my mug again. Sure. Sure. It was a gift, actually. Shira gave me this one. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. It's one of my favorite mugs. I have no idea where she got it, but on the bottom it says peppermint and pine. It also, I just realized, says hand wash only, and I've been putting it in the dishwasher since I got it. Oops. Yes. You know what? The cereal's not so bad. My dad came here from Central, but my mother's got 21. Wow, you are really first generation, Heather. I mean, my dad was older than 21, but it was longer ago because he's old. I was born when my dad was in his 50s. So, you know. Yes, you can call her any of those things that you like. And she, I hope, will fall asleep here shortly. Are you going to fall asleep while Mommy reads? Well. I know, he was an old man when he had me. My favorite unhealthy cereal is Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles is so good. My mom actually isn't even an American citizen. Did you read, wait, did I read what, Heather? Did I read what? I missed the first part of that. Did I read what? She almost always talks back to me. Onyx Storm, I did read Onyx Storm. Yes, I did. I liked Onyx Storm better than I liked the one right before it, but not as much as book one. Amanda, tell them that they don't have the right. My mom had when she was 29, she was young. You know, I think 29 is a really solid age, actually. I don't think that's old or young. Question, ask it. Ask your question, and maybe I'll answer, or maybe I'll be able to answer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I took a long time to get through Onyx Storm because the baby was so new. So don't like plan on me remembering everything perfectly like I usually do with books, because it was when the baby was so new that I like only had half of an attention span. So be kind with your question, but go ahead, ask it. The audacity indeed. She had her first at 21, then 24 had us a good age. Yeah, I think those are great ages. Where's Broccoli? Who's the brother? And yeah, okay, yes, those are all good questions. You know, I just, is there gonna, am I crazy? There has to be another book, right? Like, I thought it was gonna be a trilogy, but like it didn't solidly end for me, right? Am I crazy? I thought it was, there's gonna be 5. Okay, see, and there's 2 of you right now back. Look at the Heathers are talking at the same time. Y'all are doing this on purpose. You know I don't have any brain cells left. You're trying to confuse me. Okay, I didn't know it was a 5-book series. I thought it was going to be a trilogy. So when I decided to read Onyx Storm, I was like, well, I have to finish the series. And then I was like, that really didn't wrap up nicely at all. As you guys can tell, I am out of touch with, it was supposed to be a trilogy. Okay, thank you. I thought I was crazy, so I did hear that it was a trilogy originally, right? Thank you for confirming that, because I actually was like, am I off my rocker? Like, am I a Looney Tune that I just don't know things anymore? Because that's what I had thought. But, you know, really? What, you thought so too? It's weird that you thought that because you weren't even born. Yeah. Well, sure, she's gonna make billions. Gosh, those special editions, you guys, they charge so much money for those special edition books. I mean, listen, I gotta tell you something. All the Heathers, Ashleys, and Catherines, please, I tell you what, I found out recently that there's 2 Catherines in our group that both spell it the same way as my sister. I didn't know that there were 2. I knew that there was one that spelled it the way my sister does, and the other one was going by Cat in our group. And then I saw her name on something official, and it said Catherine the way that my sister spells it, and I was like, well, dang, there's so many of you guys. A year off before writing the 4th. I think that's good, Heather. I'm gonna tell you why. I feel like she rushed through the last 2 compared to the first one. Yours is Catherine too, but she spells it Kathryn. Katie. For once, I'm not the most common name. That's right, you're actually not. In our group, Elizabeth is the most common name. Yes, Elizabeth is by far the most common name in our group of people. There are no other Sashas, but there is a Vasha with a V. And there's only one Foxy Roxy, that's right. Yeah, my sister has the German spelling of the name, which is because she was named after somebody. But yeah, okay. So what I was gonna say was, despite the fact that the 4th Wing series is not my favorite series that there is, I do support her making that bag and getting as much money as she can, and I will tell you why. The reason is I love that over the last 10 years or so, people have really gotten back into reading. I think you are the only Brittany, A-N-I. There's a million different Britneys, but they all spell it differently, actually. And there are 2 Brittany L's. Avery, it's like medium for me. It's medium for me. I'm not like obsessed with the Fourth Wing series. Last thing, did we get an Imogen and... Oh, why did we? I thought you said did we, and I was like, I feel like we did. How would it? It could be. It's a good question. Have you read any of the Powerless books? I've not, but I have seen them. What I was going to say was I love that reading has become a thing again, because it's always been a thing for me. You know, obviously I went to school for literature, so like reading is like, let's go, let's read, you know? But I'm glad that it's coming back into like the cultural zeitgeist. Yeah, get that back, girl. No complaints from me. But like don't rush through the book, right? Because I want it to be good. I want you to make your money, but I want it to be good. The books would have been so long if she gave it as a trilogy. Probably. Unless she extended some of it to make 5 books, which again, I'm also still kind of fine with. You know what I mean? I mean, like, we're reading Hunger Games. I don't think she originally intended to write the other 2 books. It's just cool that she gets to. She originally intended for it to be a trilogy. It was a great trilogy. Now there's more. I love all of it. You know what I mean? So, like, no complaints from me. Okay, let's read, though, because we are... Look how close to done we are with this book, you guys. We're right there. We are right on the edge of it. So let's get it going. We're on chapter 21, page 278. For anyone keeping track, hey, Cindy, you got here just in time. We're barely starting chapter 21 because we were chit-chatting about Fourth Wing. Yeah, that's true, Amanda. It's true. Okay. Are you about to sneeze? You look frustrated. Is there a sneeze stuck in your nosy? Yeah, there was. Page 278. 278. Yes, absolutely. All right, chapter 21. Here we go. In the remaining hours before nightfall, I gather rocks and do my best to camouflage the opening of the cave. It's a slow and arduous process, but after a lot of swinging and shifting things around, I'm pretty pleased with my work. The cave now appears to be a part of a large pile of rocks, like so many in the vicinity. I can still crawl into Peta through a small opening. It's undetectable from the outside, though. That's good, because I'll need to share that sleeping bag again tonight. Yes, bless you. Also, if I don't make it back from the feast, Peta will be hidden enough to not entirely be imprisoned. Although I doubt he can hang on much longer without that medicine. If I die at the feast, District 12 is not likely to have a victor. Ooh, Megan Quinn is amazing. I love her stuff, Roxy. Go to that. Get something signed. Amazing. I love her books. She's great. I make a meal out of the smaller, bonier fish that's inhabiting the stream down here. I fill every water container and purify it and clean my weapons. I've got 9 arrows left in all, and I debate leaving the knife with Peta so he'll have some protection when I'm gone, but honestly, there's really no point. He was right about the camouflage being his final defense, but I still might have use for the knife. Who knows what I'll encounter? Here are some things I'm fairly certain of. That at least Cato, Clove, and Thresh will be on hand when the feast starts. I'm not sure about Foxface, since direct confrontation isn't her style or forte. She's even smaller than I am, and she's unarmed unless she picked up some weapons recently. She's probably hanging out somewhere nearby and seeing what she can scavenge. But the other 3, well, I'm going to have my hands full. My ability to kill at a distance is my greatest asset, but I know I'll have to go right into the thick of it to get that backpack with the number 12 on it that Claudia Templesmith mentioned. You have the hiccups? No, not again. Not twice in one morning. Hey, we barely are just 1 page in, Julia, so you're good. I watch the sky hoping for one less opponent at dawn, but nobody appears tonight. Tomorrow there will be faces up there. Feasts always result in casualties. I crawl into the cave and secure my glasses, bless you, and curl up next to Peta. Luckily, I had that good long sleep today, and I'll have to stay awake. I really, bless you, don't think anyone will attack our cave tonight, but I can't risk missing the dawn. So cold. It's so bitterly cold tonight. It's as if the game makers have sent an infusion of frozen air across the arena, which may be exactly what they've done. I lie next to Peta in the bag, trying to absorb every bit of his fever heat. It's strange to be so physically close to someone who's so distant from you. Peta might as well be back in the capital, or District 12, or on the moon right now. He'd be no harder to reach than he is here. I've never felt lonelier since the games begin. Just accept that it will be a bad night, I tell myself, and I try not to, but I can't help thinking of my mother and Prim and wondering if they'll sleep a wink at all tonight.
This is the late stage in the games. With an important event like the feast, well, school will probably be canceled. My family can either watch on the static-filled old clunker of a television at home, or they can join the crowds in the square to watch on the big clear screens. They'll have privacy at home, but they'll have support in the square. People will give them a kind word, a bit of food if they can spare it. I wonder if the baker has sought them out, especially now that Peeta and I are a team, and we made good on his promise to keep my sister's belly full. Spirits must be running high in District 12. We so rarely have anyone to root for at this point in the games. Well, surely people are excited about Peeta and me, especially now that we're together. If I close my eyes, I can imagine their shouts at the screens just urging us on. I see their faces, Greasy Say and Mage, and even the peacekeepers who buy my meat. They're cheering for us. Hey, Avery and Naisa, we're only just about a page and a half in, so you guys are good. And Gale, well, I know him. He won't be shouting and cheering, but he will be watching every moment, every twist, every turn. He'll be willing me to come home. I wonder if he's hoping that Peeta makes it out as well. Gale is not my boyfriend, but would he be if I opened that door? He talked about us running away together. Was that just a practical calculation of our chances of survival away from the district, or was it something more? I wonder what he makes of all of this kissing. Through the crack in the rocks, I watch the moon cross the sky. At what I judge to be about 3 hours before dawn, I begin my final preparations. I'm careful to leave Peeta with water in the medicine kit right beside him. Nothing else will be much use if I don't return, and even these things will only prolong his life for a short time. After some debate, I strip him of his jacket and I zip it over my own. He doesn't need it, not now in the sleeping bag with his fever, and during the day, if I'm not there to remove it, he'll be roasting in it. My hands are already stiff from the cold, so I take Rue's spare pair of socks and I cut holes for my fingers and thumbs, and I pull them on. It helps anyway. I fill her small pack with some food, a water bottle, and bandages, and I tuck my knife into my belt and get my bow and arrows. I'm about to leave when I remember the importance of sustaining the star-crossed lover routine, so I lean over and I give Peeta a big, long, lingering kiss. I imagine the teary sighs that emanate from the capital, and I pretend to brush away a tear of my own, and then I squeeze through the opening of the rocks out into the night. Oh, I think she's asleep. 8:56. My breath makes small white clouds as it hits the air. It's as cold as November on a night at home, one where I've slipped into the woods, lantern in hand, to join Gale at some prearranged place as we sit bundled together, sipping herbal tea from metal flasks, wrapped in quilting, hoping that game will pass our way as the morning comes on. Oh, Gale, I think, if only you had my back right now. I move as fast as I dare. The glasses are quite remarkable, but I still sorely miss having the use of my left ear. I don't know what the explosion did, but it damaged something deep and irreparable. Never mind. If I get home, I'll be so stinking rich I can pay someone to hear for me. The woods always look different at night, even with the glasses. Everything has an unfamiliar slant to it. If the daytime trees and flowers had gone to bed and they sent some slightly more ominous versions of themselves out to take their place. I don't try anything tricky like taking a new route. I make my way back up the stream and follow the same path to Rue's hiding place near the lake. Along the way, I see no sign of any other tribute, not a puff of breath, not a quiver of branch. Either I'm the first to arrive, or the others positioned themselves away last night. There's still more than an hour, maybe 2, and then I wriggle into the underbrush and wait for the bloodbath to begin. Thank you so much, Isabella. I chew a few mint leaves. My stomach isn't up for much more than that. Thank goodness I have Peeta's jacket as well as my own. If not, I'd be forced to move around to stay warm. The sky turns a misty morning gray and there's no sign of the other tributes. It's not surprising, really. Everyone has distinguished themselves either by strength or deadliness or cunning. Do they suppose, I wonder, that I'll have Peeta with me? I doubt Foxface and Thresh even know that he was wounded. All the better if they think he's covering for me when I go in for the backpack. But where is it? The arena has lightened enough for me to remove my glasses, and I can hear the morning birds singing. Isn't it time? And for a second, I'm panicked that I'm at the wrong location. But no. I'm certain I remember Claudius Templesmith specifying the cornucopia. And there it is. And here I am. So where's my feast? And just as the first rays of sun glint off the gold cornucopia, there's a disturbance on the plain. The ground before the mouth of the horn splits into 2, and a round table with snowy white cloth rises into the arena. On the table sit 4 backpacks, 2 large black ones with the numbers 2 on them and 11, and a medium-sized green one with the number 5, and then a tiny orange one. Really, I could carry it around my wrist. That one must be marked with the number 12. The table has just clicked into place when a figure darts out of the cornucopia and snags the green backpack and speeds off. Foxface, leave it to her to come up with such a clever and risky idea. The rest of us are still poised around the plane, sizing up the situation, and she's already got hers. She's got us trapped too, because no one wants to chase her down while the other packs are sitting so vulnerably on the table. Foxface must have purposefully left the other packs alone, knowing that to steal one without her number on it would definitely bring on a pursuer. That should have been my strategy. By the time I worked my way through the emotions of such a surprise, admiration, anger, jealousy, and frustration, I'm watching that reddish mane disappear into the trees, well out of shooting range. I'm always dreading the others, but maybe Foxface is the real opponent here. She cost me time too, because now it's clear that I must get to the table next. Anyone who beats me to it will easily scoop up my pack and be gone, and without hesitation I sprint for the table. I can sense the emergence of danger before I see it. Fortunately, the first knife comes whizzing onto my right side and I can hear it, so I'm able to deflect it with my bow. I turn and draw back the bow strings and send an arrow straight at Clove's heart. She turns just enough to avoid a fatal hit, but the point does puncture her upper left arm. Unfortunately, she throws with her right, but it is enough to slow her down for a few moments, having to pull the arrow out from her arm and take in the severity of her wound. I keep moving, positioning the next arrow automatically as someone who has hunted for years. I'm at the table now, my fingers closing over the tiny orange backpack. My hand slips between the straps and I yank it up onto my arm. It's really too small to fit on any part of my anatomy. I'm turning to fire again with the second knife. When the second knife catches me in the forehead, it slices right above my right eyebrow, opening a gash that sends a gush running down my face and blinding my eye. It's filling my mouth with the sharp metallic taste of my own blood, and I stagger backwards but still manage to send my readied arrow into the general direction of my assailant. I know as it leaves my hands it's going to miss, but then Clove slams into me, knocking me flat on my back and pinning my shoulders to the ground with her knees. This is it, I think, and hope for Prim's sake that it will be fast, but Clove means to savor this moment. She even feels that she has time. No doubt Cato is somewhere nearby guarding her, waiting for Thresh and possibly for Peeta. "Where's your boyfriend, District 12? Is he still hanging on?" she asks. Well, as long as we're talking, I'm still alive, I think. Oh, he's out there. He's hunting Cato. I snarl at her, and then I scream at the top of my lungs, "Peeta!" Clove jams her fist into my windpipe, very effectively cutting off my voice, but her head's whipping from side to side, and I know for a moment that she's at least considering that I'm telling the truth. But since no Peeta appears to save me, she turns right back. "Liar," she says with a grin. "He's nearly dead. Cato knows where he cut him. You've probably got him strapped up in a tree somewhere where you try to get his heart going again. What's in that pretty little backpack? That medicine for Loverboy? Too bad he's never gonna get it." Clove opens her jacket. It's lined with an impressive array of knives, and she carefully selects almost the daintiest looking number with a cruel, curved blade. I promised Cato that if he let me have you, I would give the audience a good show. I'm struggling now in an effort to unseat her, but it's no use. She's too heavy, and she's locked on me too tight. "Forget it, District 12. We're gonna kill you, just like we did your pathetic little ally. What was her name? That one who hopped around in all the trees? Rue? Yeah. Well, first Rue, then you. And then I think we'll just let nature take care of Loverboy. How does that sound?" Clove asks. "Now, where should I start?" She carelessly wipes away the blood from my wound with her jacket sleeve, and for a moment she surveys my face, tilting from side to side as if a block of wood, and she's deciding where exact as if I am a block of wood, and she's deciding what pattern to carve onto it. I've attempted to bite her hand, but she grabs onto the hair at the top of my head, forcing me back down to the ground. "I think," she almost purrs, "I think we'll start with your mouth." I clamp my teeth together as she teasingly traces the outline of my lips with the tip of the blade. I won't close my eyes. The comment about Rue has me filled with fury, enough fury to think that I'll die with some dignity. As my last act of defiance, I'll stare her down as long as I can see, which will probably not be an extended period of time, but I will stare her down. I will not cry out. I will die, in my own small way, undefeated. "Yes, I don't think you're going to have much use for your lips anymore. Do you want to blow lover boy one last kiss? She asks, and I work up a mouthful of blood and saliva and I spit it into her face. She flushes with rage. All right then, let's get started. I brace myself for the agony that's sure to follow, but as I feel the tip open the first cut of my lip, some great force yanks Clove from my body, and then she's screaming. I'm too stunned at first, too unable to process what's happened. Has PETA somehow come to my rescue? Have the game makers sent in some wild animal to add to the fun? Has the hovercraft inexplicably plucked her into the air? But when I push myself up onto my numb arms, I see it's none of the above. Clove is dangling a foot off the ground, imprisoned in Thresh's arms. I let out a gasp at seeing him like that, towering over me, holding Clove like a rag doll. I remembered him as big, but he seems more massive, more powerful than even I could recall. If anything, he seems to have gained weight in the arena. He flips Clove around and flings her onto the ground, and when he shouts, I jump, never having heard him speak before than a mutter. What'd you do to that little girl? Did you kill her? Clove is scrambling backwards on all fours like a frantic insect, too shocked to even call for Cato. No, it wasn't me. You said her name. I heard you. You killed her? Another thought brings fresh waves of rage to his features. You killed her like you were gonna cut up this girl here? No. Clove sees the stone about the size of a small loaf of bread in Thresh's hand, and she loses it. Cato! She screams. Cato! Clove! I hear Cato answer, but he's too far away. I can tell that much. He's too far to do her any good. What was he doing anyway? Trying to get to Foxface? Or maybe PETA? Or had he been lying in wait for Thresh and badly misjudged his location? Thresh brings the rock down hard against Clove's temple. It's not bleeding, but I can see the dent in her skull, and I know she's a goner. There's still life in her now, though the rapid rise and fall of her chest and the low moan that are escaping her lips. When Thresh whirls around on me, the rock is raised, and I know it's no good to run. My bow is empty. The last loaded arrow is gone from Clove's direction. I'm trapped in the glare of his strange golden brown eyes. What does she mean? About Rue being your ally? We teamed up. We blew up the supplies. I tried to save her. I really did. But he got there first. District 1, I say. Maybe if he knows that I helped Rue, maybe he won't choose a slow, sadistic way to end me. And you killed him? He demanded. Yes, I killed him. And I buried her in the flowers, I say. And I sang her to sleep. Tears spring into my eyes. Tension. The fight goes out of me at the memory, and I'm overwhelmed by Rue and the pain in my head and the fear of Thresh and the moaning of the dying girl just a few feet away from me. To sleep? Thresh says gruffly. To death. I sang until she died, I say. Your district, they sent me bread. My hand reaches up, but not for an arrow that I know I'll never reach, just to wipe at my nose. Just do it fast, okay? Okay, Thresh? Conflicting emotions cross Thresh's face. He lowers the rock and points at me almost accusingly. Just one time. I let you go. For the little girl. You and me? For even then. No more owed. Do you understand? I nod because I do understand. About owing, I mean. About hating. I understand that if Thresh wins, he'll have to go back and face a district that has already broken all the rules to thank me, and he's breaking a rule to thank me too. And I understand that for the moment, Thresh is not going to smash my skull. Clove! Cato's voice is much nearer now, and I can tell by the pain in it that he sees her on the ground. You better run now, Fire Girl, says Thresh, and I don't need to be told twice. I flip over and I dig my feet hard into the packed earth as I run away from Thresh and Clove and the sound of Cato's voice. Only when I reach the woods do I turn back for an instant, and Thresh and both large backpacks are vanishing over the edge of the plain into an area that I've never seen. Cato kneels beside Clove, spear in hand, begging her to stay with him, and in a moment he will realize it's futile because she can't be saved. I crash into the trees, repeatedly swiping away the blood that's pouring into my eye, fleeing like the wild, wounded creature that I am, and after a few minutes I hear the cannon. I know that Clove has died, and that Cato will be on all of our trails, either Thresh's or mine. I'm seized with terror, weak from my head wound, shaking. I load an arrow, but Cato can throw that spear almost as far as I can shoot. Only one thing calms me down. Thresh has Cato's backpack containing whatever it is that he needs desperately. If I had a bet, Cato headed after Thresh and not me. Still, I don't slow down when I reach the water. I plunge right in, boots still on, and I flounder downstream. I pull off Rue's socks that I've been using for gloves, and I press them into my forehead, trying to staunch the flow of blood. But they're soaked in minutes. I just finished the second book in the series I'm reading. Oh, very good, Brooke. It's a great series. Somehow, I make it back to the cave and I squeeze through those little rocks. In the dappled light, I pull the little orange backpack from my arm and I cut open the clasp and dump the contents out onto the ground. One slim box contains a hypodermic needle, and without hesitating, I jam the needle into Peta's arm and I slowly press down on the plunger. My hands go to my head and then drop to my lap, slick with blood. The last thing I remember is an exquisitely beautiful green and silver moth landing on the curve of my wrist. Well. Are you such a sleepy bean? Yeah, such a sleepy bean. She just waved in her sleep. She's like, okay, I'm gonna read chapter 22 here in a second. Let's just see. That's not a long one at all. We're on page 290 right now. For anyone keeping track, we're on 290. Chapter 22. The sound of rain drumming on the roof of our house gently pulls me towards consciousness. I fight to return to sleep, though, wrapped in the warm cocoon of blankets, soft, safe, and at home. I'm vaguely aware that my head aches. Possibly I have the flu, and that's why I'm allowed to stay in bed, even though I can tell I've been asleep a long time. My mother's hand strokes my cheek, and I don't push it away as I would in wakefulness. I never want her to know how much I crave that gentle touch of hers. How much I miss her, even though I still don't trust her. And there's a voice, the wrong voice. It's not my mother's, though, and I'm scared. Katniss, it says. Katniss, can you hear me? My eyes open, and the sensitivity of security vanishes. I'm not home. I'm not with my mother. I'm in a dim, chilly cave, and my bare feet are freezing despite the cover. The air is tainted with the unmistakable smell of blood. The haggard, pale face of a boy slides into view, and after an initial jolt of alarm, I feel better. Peta? Hey, he says. Good to see your eyes again. Hey, how long have I been out? I ask. Not sure. I woke up yesterday evening and you were lying next to me in a very scary pool of blood, he says. I think it stopped finally, but I wouldn't sit up or anything if I were you. I gingerly lift my hand to my head and find it bandaged. The simple gesture leaves me weak and dizzy. Peta holds a bottle to my lips and I drink thirstily. You're better, I say. Much better. Whatever you shot into my arm really did the trick, he says. By this morning, all the swelling was almost gone from my leg. He doesn't seem angry about my tricking him and drugging him and running off to the feast. Maybe I'm just too beat up and I'll hear about it later when I'm strong. But for the moment, he's all gentleness. Oh, I didn't know it was your birthday. Happy birthday, Roxy. Did you eat? I ask. I'm sorry to say that I gobbled down 3 pieces of Grusling before I realized that it might have to last a while, but don't worry, I'm back onto a strict diet, he says. No, it's good. You need to eat. I'll go hunting soon, I say. Not too soon, though, all right? He says. You just let me take care of you for a while. I don't really seem to have much choice. Peta feeds me bites of Grusling and raisins and makes me drink plenty of water. He rubs some warmth back into my feet and wraps them in his jacket before tucking the sleeping bag back up around my chin. Your boots and socks are still damp, and the weather's not helping much, he says. There's a clap of thunder, and I see lightning electrify through the sky and the opening of the rocks. Rain drips through several holes in the ceiling, but Peta has built a sort of canopy over my head and my upper body, wedging the square of plastic into the rocks above me. I wonder what brought on the storm. I mean, like, who's the target, says Peta. Cato and Thresh, I said without thinking. Foxface will be in her den somewhere, and Clove. She cut me, and then, my voice trails off. I know Clove's dead. I saw it in the sky last night, he said. Did you kill her? No. Thresh broke her skull with a rock, I say. Lucky he didn't catch you too, says Peta. And the memory of the feast returns in full force and I'm sick. He did catch me, but he let me go. And then, of course, I have to tell him about the things I've kept to myself because he was too sick to ask, and I wasn't ready to relive it anyway. Like the explosion, and my ear, and Ruse dying, and the boy from District 1, and the bread. All of which leads to what happened with Thresh and how he was paying off a debt of sorts. He let you go because he didn't want to owe you anything? Asked Peta in disbelief. Yes, I don't expect you to understand it. You've always had enough, but if you lived in the seam, I wouldn't have to explain, I say. Oh, don't try. Obviously, I'm too dim to get it, he says. It's like the bread, how I never seem to get over owing you for that. I say, the bread? What? You mean like from when we were kids? He said. I think we can let that go. I mean, you just brought me back from the dead after all. But you didn't know me. We had never spoken. Besides, it's the first gift. It's always the hardest to pay back. I wouldn't even be here if you hadn't helped me then. I say, why did you? Anyway. Why? You know why, says Peeta, and I give my head a slight and painful shake. Hamish said you would take a lot of convincing. Hamish? I ask. What's he got to do with this? Nothing, says Peeta. So, all right, Cato and Thresh, huh? I guess it's too much to hope that they'll simultaneously just destroy one another. But the thought only upsets me. I think we would like Thresh. I think he'd be our friend back in District 12, I say. All right, then let's hope Cato kills him so we don't have to, says Peeta grimly. I don't want Cato to kill Thresh at all. I don't want anyone else to die, but this is absolutely not the kind of thing that victors go around saying in the arena. Despite my best efforts, I can feel tears starting to pool in my eyes. Peeta looks at me concerned. What is it? Are you in a lot of pain? And I give him another answer because it's equally true, but it can be taken as a brief moment of weakness instead of a terminal one. I want to go home, Peeta, I say plaintively, like a small child. You will, I promise, he says, and then he bends over to give me a kiss. I want to go home now, I say. Tell you what, you go back to sleep and you dream of home, and you'll be there for real before you know it, he says. Okay? Okay, I whisper. Wake me up if you need me to watch. I'm good and rested thanks to you and Hamish. Besides, who knows how long this is going to last, he says. What does he mean? The storm? The brief respite that it brings us? The games themselves? I don't know, but I'm too sad and tired to even ask. It's evening when Peeta wakes me again, and the rain has turned to a downpour, sending streams of water through our ceiling where earlier it had only been drips. Peeta has placed the broth pot under the worst one and repositioned the plastic to deflect most of it from me. I feel a bit better, able to sit up without getting too dizzy, and I'm absolutely famished. So's Peeta. It's clear that he's been waiting for me to wake up to eat, and he's eager to get started. There's not much left. Just 2 pieces of gruesling and a small mishmash of roots and a handful of dried fruit. Should we, try to ration it? Peeta asks. No, let's just finish it. The gruesling's getting old anyway, and the last thing we need is to get sick off of spoiled food, I say, dividing the food into 2 equal piles. We try to eat slowly, but we're both so hungry that we're done in a couple of minutes. My stomach is in no way satisfied. Tomorrow's a hunting day, I say. I won't be much help with that, Peeta says. I've never hunted before. All right, I'll kill and you cook, I say. And you can always gather. I wish there was some sort of bread bush out there, says Peeta. The bread they sent me from District 11 is still warm. Was still warm, I say with a sigh. Here, chew these. And I hand him a couple of mint leaves, and I pop a few in my own mouth, too. It's hard to even see the projection in the sky, but it's clear enough to know that there were no more deaths today, so Cato and Thresh haven't had it out yet. Sorry, I was doing a breath check because I'm a new mom and I can't help myself. Where did Thresh go? I mean, what's on the far... Oh, sorry, wrong voice. Where did Thresh go? I mean, what's on the far side of the circle? I asked Peeta. Oh, it's a field. As far as you can see, grass as high as my shoulders. I don't know, maybe some of them are grain, and they're patches of different colors, but there are no paths, says Peeta. I bet some of them are grain, and I bet Thresh knows which ones, too, I say. Did you go in there? No, nobody really wants to track Thresh down in that grass. It has a sinister feeling to it. Every time I look in that field, all I can think are hidden things like snakes, rabid animals, quicksand, Peeta said. There's just anything could be in there. Sorry, it's not a new mom thing. Oh, good. Well, then I don't feel crazy. I'm glad to hear it. I don't feel crazy then. I don't say it, but Peeta's words remind me of the warnings that they give us about not going beyond the fence in District 12. I can't help it but for a moment comparing him with Gale, who would see that field as a potential source of food as well as a threat. Thresh certainly did. It's not that Peeta's soft exactly, and he's proven he's not a coward, but there are things you don't question too much, I guess, like when your home always smells like baked bread, whereas Gale questions everything. What would Peeta think of the irreverent banter that passes between us as we break the law each day? Hey, Liz. Would it shock him, the things that we say about Panem, Gale's tirades against the Capitol? Maybe that's a bread bush in the field, I say. Maybe that's why Thresh looks better fed now than when we started the games. Yeah, either that or he's got very generous sponsors, says Peeta. I wonder what we'd have to do to get Hamish to send us some bread. I raise my eyebrows before I remember he doesn't know about the message that Hamish sent us a couple of nights ago. 1 kiss equals 1 pot of broth. That's not the sort of thing that I can blurt out either. To say my thoughts out loud would be tipping the audience that the romance has been fabricated to play on their sympathies, and that would result in no food at all. Somehow, believably, I've got to get things back on track. Something simple to start with, so I reach out and I take his hand. Well, he probably used up a lot of resources helping me knock you out, I say mischievously. Yeah, about that, says Peeta, entwining his fingers with mine. Don't try something like that ever again. Or what? I ask. Or, he can't think of anything good. Well, just give me a minute. What's the problem? I say with a grin. The problem is we're both alive, which only reinforces the idea in your mind that you did the right thing, says Peeta. I did do the right thing, I say. No, just don't, Katniss. And his grip tightens, hurting my hand. There's real anger in his voice. Don't die for me, okay? You won't be doing me any favors, all right? I'm startled by his intensity, but I recognize an excellent opportunity to get us food, so I try to keep up. Well, maybe I did it for myself, Peeta. Did you ever think of that? Maybe you aren't the only one who worries about what it would be like if... And I fumble. I'm not as smooth with words as Peeta is, and while I was talking, the idea of actually losing Peeta hits me again, and I realize how much I really don't want him to die. And it's not about the sponsors, and it's not about what will happen back home. It's just that I don't want to be alone. It's not that I just don't want to be alone. It's him. I don't want to lose the boy with the bread. If what, Katniss? He says softly. I wish I could pull the shutters closed, blocking out this moment from prying eyes of Panem, even if it means losing food, whatever I'm feeling. Well, this is no one's business but mine. Oh, amazing, Naisa. That was fast. That's exactly the kind of topic that Hamish told me to steer clear of, I say evasively, although Hamish never said anything of the kind. In fact, he's probably cursing me out right now for dropping the ball in such an emotionally charged moment, but Peeta somehow catches it. Well, then I'll just have to fill in the blanks myself, he says, and he moves in towards me. This is the first kiss that we're both fully aware of. Neither of us hobbled by sickness or pain or simply unconscious. Our lips are neither burning with fever or icy cold. This is the first kiss where I actually feel a stirring in my chest. It's warm and curious. This is the first kiss that makes me want another kiss. But I don't get it. Well, I mean, I do get a second kiss, but it's just a light one on the tip of my nose because Peeta's been distracted. I think your wound is bleeding again. Come on, lie down. It's bedtime anyway, he says, and my socks are dry enough to wear now. I make Peeta put his jacket back on. The damp cold seems to cut right down to my bones, so he must be half frozen. I insist on taking the first watch, too, although neither of us think it's likely that anyone will come out in this weather, but we won't agree unless I'm in the bag, too. He won't agree unless I'm in the bag, too, and I'm shivering so hard at this point it's pointless to object. So in stark contrast to 2 nights ago when Peeta felt a million miles away, I am struck by his immediacy now, and as we settle in, he pulls my head down to use his arm as a pillow, and the other rests protectively over me, even when he goes to sleep. No one has held me like this in such a long time, not since my father died and I stopped trusting my mother. No one else's arms have made me feel this safe. With the aid of the glasses, I lie watching the drips of water splatter on the cave floor, rhythmic and lulling. Several times I drift off briefly, and then I snap awake, guiltily and angry with myself. After 3 or 4 hours, I can't help it. I have to rouse Peeta because I can't keep my eyes open, but he doesn't seem to mind. Tomorrow, when it's dry, I'm going to find us a place so high in the trees that we can both sleep in peace, I promise as I drift off. But tomorrow is no better in terms of weather. The deluge continues as if the game makers are intent on washing us all away. The thunder is so powerful that it seems to shake the ground. Peeta's considering heading out anyway to scavenge for food, but I tell him that the storm, it would be pointless. He won't be able to see 3 feet in front of his face, and he'll only end up getting soaked to the skin for his troubles. He knows I'm right, but the gnawing in our stomach is becoming painful. The day drags on, turning into evening, and there's no break in the weather. Hamish is our only hope now, but nothing is forthcoming, either from lack of money or everything will cost an exorbitant amount, or maybe it's because he's dissatisfied with our performance. Probably the latter. I'd be the first to admit that we're not exactly riveting today. Starving and weak from injury, trying not to reopen our wounds. We're sitting huddled together, wrapped in a sleeping bag, yes, but it's mostly to keep warm. The most exciting thing that either of us has done is nap. I'm not really sure how to ramp up the romance. The kiss last night was nice, but working up to another will take some forethought. There are girls in the seams, some merchant girls too, who navigate these waters so easily, but I've never had such time or use for it. Anyway, a kiss isn't enough anymore, clearly, because if it was, we would have gotten food last night. My instincts tell me that Hamish isn't just looking for physical affection. He wants something more personal, the sort of stuff that he was trying to get me to tell about myself when we were practicing for the interview, but I'm rotten at it. Peeta's not, though. Maybe the best approach is to get him talking. Peeta, I say lightly, you said at the interview that you'd had a crush on me forever. When did it start? Oh, let's see. I don't know. I guess the first day of school, when we were 5, you had on this red plaid dress, and your hair, it was in 2 braids instead of 1, and your father pointed out when we were waiting, my father pointed you out to me when we were waiting in line. Peeta says, your father? Why? I ask. Well, he said, see that little girl? I wanted to marry her mother, but she ran off with a coal miner. Peeta said, what? You're making that up. I exclaimed, no. True story, Peeta says. And I said, a coal miner? Why did she want a coal miner if she could have had you? And he said, because when he sings, even the birds stop to listen. That's true. They do. I mean, they did, I say. And I'm stunned and surprisingly moved thinking of the baker telling this to Peeta. And it strikes me that my own reluctance to sing, my own dismissal of music might not really be that I think it's a waste of time. It might be because it reminds me too much of my father. So that day in music assembly, the teacher who asked who knew the Valley song and your hand shot straight up in the air, she stood you up on a stool and had you sing it for us, and I swear, every bird outside the windows, they fell silent. Peeta says, oh, please, I said laughing. No, it happened. And right when your song ended, I knew, just like your mother, I was a goner, Peeta says. And then for the next 11 years, I tried to work up the nerve to talk to you. Without success, I add. Yeah, without success. So in a way, my name being drawn in the reaping is kind of a piece of luck, says Peeta. And for a moment, I'm almost foolishly happy, and then confusion sweeps over me because we're supposed to be making stuff up. We're supposed to be playing at being in love, not actually being in love. But Peeta's story has a ring of truth to it. That part about my father and the birds, and I did sing on the first day of school, like though I don't remember the song, and that red plaid dress, there was one that it was a hand-me-down to Prim that got washed to rags after my father's death. It would explain another thing, too, why Peeta took a long beating to give me the bread on that awful hollow day. So, if those details are true, could this all be true? You have a remarkable memory, I say haltingly. I remember everything about you, says Peeta, tucking a loose strand of hair behind my ear. You're the one who wasn't paying attention. I am now, I say. Well, I don't have much competition here, he says, and I want to draw away to close those shutters again, but I know that I can't. It's as if I can hear Hamish whispering in my ear, say it, and I swallow hard and I get the words out. You don't have much competition anywhere. And this time, it's me who leans in, and our lips have just barely touched when the clunk outside makes us jump. My bow comes up and my arrow's ready to fly, but there's no other sound. Peeta peers through the rocks and gives a whoop, and before I can stop him, he's out in the rain and then handing something to me, a silver parachute attached to a basket. I rip it open at once, and inside there's a feast. Fresh rolls, goat cheese, apples, all the best, a tureen of incredible lamb stew and wild rice, the very dish that I told Caesar Flickerman was the most impressive thing that the capital had to offer. And Peeta wriggles back inside, his face lit up like the sun. I guess Hamish finally got tired of watching us starve. Yeah, I guess so, I answer, but in my head I can hear Hamish's smug, if slightly exasperated words. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, sweetheart. Woo! I know, it's astounding, Nysa. So, that was chapter 22. Tomorrow, if we do 23 and 24, then there's just 25. Well, there's 27. Okay. So there's 27 chapters, so we do still have a little way to go. So we'll do chapter 23 and 24 tomorrow. You definitely should, Isabella, you should definitely get these books. They're great books, absolutely phenomenal books. I love them. So tonight is Roll for Slime regular. So here's the thing. You know how I thought yesterday was the fire alarm testing? The fire alarm testing is actually today. Yeah, it is definitely technically a YA book, Isabella, so you would definitely get it. It's definitely a range of ages. I think I would recommend it for anyone 14 and above. personally, 13 or 14 and above. The fire alarm testing is today, but it should end before the live tonight. I practiced putting the earmuffs on baby girl yesterday, and she was okay with it. She looked like Princess Leia, which was very cute, but she didn't fight me on them, so she let me keep them on her, which is good. Last night when my husband had to blend something in, my 7th grader is reading, well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, 13 or 14, depending on your age range, your like reading ability, and like how well you can handle the what do you call it, the like gore in it, if you will. I think I probably would have read it at like 14. We tested yesterday. He had to run the blender, so instead of taking her in the other room, which we usually do when there's a really loud noise, I put the earmuffs on her to see if when he ran the blender, if she would flinch at all. She didn't even flinch, so I think she couldn't hear it very well. It was probably muffled enough to not hurt her ears, so that's good. So anyway, I'm gonna go try to get some work done before the alarms begin, and then take her for a walk when they do, and then we'll have Roll for Slime tonight, and that is the whole kit and caboodle, as they say. I have my daughter wear them at a hockey game, and it works well. Okay, great. Will she get another cooking lesson tonight? Probably, but we won't be able to hear it because we'll be on live, but she probably will get another. Oh no, we have leftovers tonight. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight, Roxy. Hopefully maybe you'll get your birthday slime before tonight and you'll be able to play with it while you watch. That would be fun. More slimes are getting mailed out today, and that's kind of the whole thing. So I'll see you guys at 5 o'clock tonight. The agenda is up and all is well. We uploaded, yes, thank you, Tiffany. I'm gonna go do that right now, right freaking now. I'm gonna download both right now. Okay, thank you for the reminder. That was very helpful. Bye, guys.